Hi, everybody. Welcome to an Extravagant Few Minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza. You always can see us live on X too, at The Real Captain Lou. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get all of our great content, all of our Extravagant Few Minutes episodes live and archived, including Presley's Parlay picks. We've got a few of them here for you just in time for the 1 o'clock kick for the NFL day today. And of course, all of our extravaganzas with yours truly and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. We'll have another live episode this Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And then the ACHA Power Play is back for another episode this Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Season 10, episode 7, I believe, 6 or 7, as the road to St. Louis is in high gear here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And so we invite you to subscribe to our channel to make sure that you get all of our great programming. Today's Extravagant Few Minutes and all of our shows on the network is brought to you by the exclusive secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It is that simple. There's a game you want to go to. If you're in Detroit, you can still, if you're in Washington, rather, you want to watch the Commanders take on the Lions, go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off your purchase. Or if you're in Detroit, you want to go watch the Red Wings this afternoon at 1 o'clock against the Blackhawks, use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off of your purchase. All right. Week 10 of the NFL season is upon us, as we mentioned. And before that, we've got some college football to talk about real quick. Big wins is, I guess my big question is, with college football, is the Big Ten overrated? I don't know if it is. I hear about it back and forth all the time, especially after yesterday. Indiana goes to Penn State, struggles with the Nittany Lions. They win on a last-second touchdown. What a drive engineered by Mendoza. He's now the leading odds maker to win the Heisman. He went from third to first with that touchdown drive yesterday. I think he's plus 180. Ohio State rolled against Purdue, but people don't think it was by enough. Oregon, rather, needed a last-second field goal to beat Iowa on the road. Here's the thing to keep in mind, and I listen to this from all the SEC honks. Of course, you got to take this with a grain of salt for people talking about the SEC with ESPN pretty much bought and paid for by the SEC. We've heard it for years. Who wins the national championships? Who gets into the playoffs? Well, the Big Ten has the last two national championships. I'm not a big fan of Curt Cignetti. I think he's a little condescending and a little too arrogant for what he's done. Indiana is going to have to prove they can win a big game in the playoff. You can't win them You can't win all the games by 50 points. I know he tends to run the score up a little bit, but we'll see what they do on the road. But I guess going back to the big question, is the Big Ten overrated? We'll see what the college football playoff poll says on Tuesday night. Will Texas A&M overtake Indiana at the second spot? I think the big thing to keep in mind is when it comes down to conference championship weekend, should Indiana and Ohio State be 1 and 2 going into that poll, whoever loses that one, will they still get one of the automatic berths or a first-round bye, if you will, in the college football playoff with the 12 teams set up? You're going to get a lot of people crying about that because you're going to get 2 SEC teams. But honestly, I don't see an ACC team that's a top 4 team. I don't see a Big 12 team that's a top 4 team. So I think no matter what happens, if it's Indiana and Ohio State in the conference championship, the loser is still going to get one of the first-round buys, and you're going to see 2 SEC teams get the other 2 first-round buys. It's different than last year, keep in mind. So I guess in a roundabout way, is the Big Ten overrated? It still might be, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Hey, congratulations, by the way, for Wisconsin winning their first Big Ten game as they beat Washington at home yesterday. So that just leaves 3 winless teams in the Big Ten: Purdue, Michigan State, and Penn State. Who on your bingo card had Penn State at 0-6 at this point in the Big Ten at the beginning of the year? They were ranked second in the country to start the year, and they're already down to 0-6 in the Big Ten, 3-6 overall. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. It was crazy. We were talking about it yesterday in one of my group texts. Wouldn't it have been something if they hung on to win and beaten a top 5 team with the first game they played against the top 5 team without James Franklin after he couldn't do it for all those years? But woulda, coulda, shoulda. They didn't do it. Penn State is still winless in the Big Ten. Boy, the apocalypse has hit us as they are 0-6. All right, let's take a look at the NFL. Week 10, as we said, is upon us. The Lions are in Washington, in the nation's capital, to take on the Commanders. And in my opinion, this is a must-win today for the Lions at 425 in Washington. They currently sit at 5-3. They're a half game out of first place in the NFC North. If they want to win the division and get a home game in the first round of the playoffs, they have to win this one to either stay in pace with Green Bay or potentially leapfrog them should the Packers lose on Monday night at home against the Eagles. And we don't know which Packers team is going to show up. Is it the one that, spit the bid against the Browns or against the Carolina Panthers last week? Or is it going to be the one that manhandled Detroit and looked like a Super Bowl contender earlier in the year? But this is a big win for Detroit. They're already chirping about Johnny Morton here in Detroit, potentially getting fired as the offensive coordinator. Grumblings about him throwing the offensive line under the bus, not getting along with the players in the locker room. Is this an Anthony Lynn situation where Dan Campbell had to fire him as the offensive coordinator? Or is it that maybe Lions fans were a little bit spoiled with a 15-2 record and Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator? Is it one of those situations where the next guy that steps in after Johnson gets the head job in Chicago? Is it just something? Are the expectations are they just too much to ask? I don't know. Those are all valid questions in my book. The offensive line is banged up. I think the Lions really miss Frank Ragnow, but everybody's got injuries. This is where Detroit has to put up and shut up. I think they're embarrassed. I think they're a little salty after losing one at home last week that, in all intents and purposes, they should have won. A fluke fumble by David Montgomery didn't help matters any. Just uncharacteristically, just bad play on the line of scrimmage, discipline with the penalties. I think the Lions are going to come out today like gangbusters. I think you're going to see the Lions win, and I think it could be by double digits because Jalen isn't playing. It's going to be Marcus Mariota in at quarterback. Jaden Daniels isn't playing for the Redskins, or the Commanders, rather. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I think the Lions win this one. This is a big win, though. They have to have this one. It'll get them to 6-3. They go to Philadelphia next Sunday night. That's going to be a tough one. Then they got Green Bay on Thanksgiving, 10 days after that. So this is a big win. It's a must-win today for the Lions. All right, looking at the schedule in the NFL elsewhere coming up today. Let's see what we've got. Of course, I lost my thing here for the Lions, so let's see if we can't come up with that real quick. All right, Magic Live Radio, right, or live TV. We've got the Giants and the Bears. That's a ho-hum matchup. A lot of bummer matchups. The big games aren't really until later on. You got the Rams and 49ers and the Lions and the Commanders. A lot of folks around the country thinking the Lions-Commanders isn't much of a game. Rams and 49ers at 425. Tonight, an intriguing matchup with the Steelers and the Chargers, with the Chargers at home, laying 2.5 or 3, depending on who you look at with your odds makers. And then tomorrow night, the Monday night game is going to be the Packers taking on the Eagles. So that's going to be an interesting matchup as well. And Thursday night's game, of course, the Broncos and the Raiders, snooze fest to say the least. The Broncos won that one 10-7. They're now 8-2, but you wonder if it's fool's gold. We'll find out when they play Kansas City this coming Thursday night. Red Wings are back in action coming up tonight or this afternoon as well. 1 o'clock puck drop against the Blackhawks. Red Wings currently 9-6 right now in the regular season, kind of in the middle of the pack. 2-game skid. Didn't look all that great at home against the New York Rangers. So this is a big bounce back game for them today. See if they can get the victory against the Blackhawks and get to double-digit wins after 16 games. See if they can raise it up to 10-6. Still, no reason to panic. I know Red Wings fans are so impatient right now. They want to get to the playoffs, but the Red Wings still, a little inconsistent. but this would be a big win for them today if they could beat the Blackhawks at Little Caesars Arena. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Presley will be in the house. She's going to be live and in person. She's going to help us with our parlays for the NFL this afternoon. You're watching an Extravagant Few Minutes, and it's right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. Hey, is there a ball game you want to go to last minute? How about the Spartans at Spartan Stadium? Go to the Big House to watch the Wolverines. Is there an NFL game you want to go to? Lambeau Field, Ford Field, wherever, Baltimore. How about the Tigers for the pennant drive? Well, go to SeatGeek. Get those tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou right on the screen, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. So go to the Spartan game. Go to the Big House. But use the promo code Captain Lou at SeatGeek, and you'll be all set. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time for Presley's Parlays on this NFL Sunday. We've got 3 dandies for you. Let's get into it real quick. Presley's Parlay number 1, a 7-point teaser. Minnesota plus 10.5 at Baltimore. The Jets at home, we're going to give them 8.5 against the Browns. And Buffalo at Miami, minus 2.5. That's plus 120. That's positive money. That's an extra dog biscuit, maybe an extra cheese layer on your pepperoni pizza pie. Presley's Parlay number 2. She's going to go with the monster teaser. She's going to go with Minnesota plus 14 or 16.5 against Baltimore at home. Houston plus 14.5 at home against Jacksonville. Buffalo plus 3.5 at Miami. And then finally, the Jets getting 14.5 at home against Cleveland. That's minus 140. And finally, Presley's Parlay number 3. Another 13-point monster parlay. I know it's minus 140. Arizona at Seattle, they'll get plus 20. It's going to be then take the over at over 32.5. And then San Francisco at home getting 18.5 against the Rams. And we're going to say under 62.5. That's minus 140. And Presley's dog of the weekend. This was a tough one, but she says go with Aaron Glenn and the Jets, Jets. They're plus 1.5 at home against Cleveland. Presley wants to throw an extra dog biscuit on you for that. So there we go. Presley's parlays and her dog of the weekend. All right. Thank you, Presley, for coming on by. I know she was just thrilled to be here, to be part of the show. And we had to get her some screen time, some window time, if you would. So there's our parlays. Hope you enjoy them here as we get you ready for NFL Week 10. All right. Oh, well, we already know the game going on in London, by the way. And that, of course, is the Falcons and the Colts. So another snooze fest. I think as we're taping this right now, they're in the third quarter. And the Falcons are on top of the Colts, 14-13, and they're driving right now. So who would have thought that, right? You never know with the NFL. It's a lot of fun. So we're getting geared up for Week 10. All right, everybody. If you're a Detroit sports fan and you want to wait to watch just the NFL with the Commanders and the Lions at 4:25, you get the Red Wings in a matinee game at 1 o'clock against the Chicago Blackhawks. All right, that's going to do it, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. And we thank everybody for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world, right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Like I said, be safe. If you're here in Michigan, be safe out in the roads. We got our first snowfall here. Nothing on the roads. It's just wet, but it kind of looks like Christmas already here on November 9th. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll talk to you real soon. Captain Lou reminding you to keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving. And as always, keep your minds open. So long.